of people give me a hard time on how to pronounce my letters because I've been here so long. My buddies here, they think that I should sound exactly like you guys. You know, but for the record, I go back down to Australia and everyone down there thinks I sound retarded too. But they give me a hard time. My buddies are like, Garrett, dude, forgive my poor Canadian accent here, but this will give you an idea of the sort of people that I hang out with, okay? They're like, Garrett, dude, Garrett, man, you've been in Canada for like 10 fucking years now, bro. You have to learn, buddy. The letter is pronounced R. Relax, I understand where you're coming from, but to me it always has been and always will be pronounced ah. It's ah. And they're like, fuck, man. It's R. And I'm like, what the hell? No, it's ah. They're like, R, ah, R, ah. Have that argument a little too long and it sounds like you're fucking a pirate. R, ah! I have this argument with my buddies in the basement. My parents would hear from upstairs. They'd be like, God, Garrett, first the pot, now you're fucking pirates. What's next? They weren't impressed. There was a hockey game. You guys hockey fans? Yeah. Cool. That's one sport that I really like. I grew up with rugby, so I'm used to very fast-paced sports, very go, like hockey. You know, it's wicked. But you guys football fans as well? Yeah? That's, I guess, Calgary, you guys have both of them, don't you? Now, football is a little harder for me to grasp my hands around because it's a little slower, and I understand its strategy. But when I first came here, my dad was trying to teach me about the game. He used to play in the CFL and the NFL a long time ago. He was a punter by the name of Ken Clark, and he played for a few different Canadian teams. And I remember when I first came, he was going through the rules with me. We were watching a game, Saskatchewan versus Toronto. And he's being very patient, going through everything. But half-time rolls around, and I have to ask my dad a question. I'm like, Dad, why is the team of a city playing the team of a province? And he was like, I guess he'd never really thought about it before. But he was quick on his feet, and he said, well, son, it's a population thing. You know, maybe if Saskatchewan had more people in it, maybe one of the bigger cities would have a team just like Toronto does. Which is a good answer, but I call bullshit. For one reason alone, okay? Canadians have a very good sense of humor. And come on, if Regina had a sports team, you'd have to fuck with the name. You would. You'd have to call it something like the Regina Infections. Just to hear the play-by-play, right? Oh, and Toronto takes a hit below the belt by the Regina Infections. They're making Toronto itch and itch and itch. Oh, the tables have turned. Toronto is eating Regina for breakfast. What a game! Everything sounds revolting coming from that city, though. Even if they just changed the name of the team that they have now from the province of Saskatchewan to the city of Regina, that would sound horrible. The Regina Rough Riders? That sounds like a tragic event. What do you do for a living, son? Oh, I'm a Regina Rough Rider. Shit. Rough Ride Reginas. Oh, really, so where I come from, we call them gigolos. Congratulations. If that's too much for you, maybe the Regina monologues would fit better. So I was looking at Maxim magazine recently, probably a week and a half ago. Now usually, ladies and gentlemen, I am a looker of the pictures, but this time an article intrigued me because of its title, so I had to check it out. And the title, the headline was Men's Top 5 Favorite Sounds. According to Maxim magazine. I don't know what they did, if they did a survey or whatever, but I had to check this out because I wanted to see what they had to say. And gentlemen, according to Maxim, our 5th favorite sound is the sound of an F1 racer shooting by. It's pretty cool. But at number 4 was the sound of a belly flop. We are complicated creatures, gentlemen. Number 3 was the sound of two trucks in a head-on collision, which is pretty manly, I have to say. Some push-ups, right? But at number 2 was the sound of a buddy farting. And gentlemen, according to Maxim magazine, our number 1 favorite sound out there is apparently the sound of a woman being pleasured. Which I have to say, they're all pretty great sounds. I have to say that. You know? But I have to say something else about that. I'm a guy, all right? And I know some pretty sweet sounds. And in my opinion, the greatest sound on earth didn't make that list. You know? Whatever happened to... Do you guys remember that tube thing? You turn upside down like... What was that thing called? It didn't have a name. That's probably why it made the list. They were like, how do you spell I don't know, fuck it. Human being pleasure. Number 1. Way easier. And we all called it something different because we didn't know what the hell to call it. I thought it sounded like a cow in a tube. So I called it the cow teeth thing. So, right? Others thought it sounded more like a lamb, like, Others said Peter Frampton being born. Right?